Hello, it's Kadesha. I'm back with another video. This story I'm about to share proves that we can do anything, of course, when we put our minds to it. However, it also makes me realize that we have to do things for us, or would only be temporary if we do it for someone else. So, I was actually talking to this individual, and I was letting them know, like, hey, what you do, that's something, that I don't like. And they were telling me about them stopping for a certain person. And they were like, if I needed to stop, I would. And I do believe that we bring out the best in people that we're around. I totally believe that. However, I believe that if it's not in you to want to change yourself, you will start to sneak and do it when the person's not around. And that's why we shouldn't go in with these, I wouldn't say ultimatums, but just like these very hard, fast rules, like you got to do this, got to do that. It's like get to know a person and see who they are and what they can adapt to. And if that's something that you're willing to work through, then of course do that. But like I said, more so if it's not for that person specifically to wanting to do it on their own, they're going to result back to it, which is exactly what they told me. They were like, yeah, I stopped for a certain amount of time for this certain person. And I mean, years, like over 20 years. But then they were like, yeah, after, it was actually kind of a sad occasion. The person passed away, and that result to them going back to what they were doing. And so it was just like, I know, like I said, you could do anything you put your mind to. I totally believe that. But if you want it to stay permanent, you have to realize that we are in a daily battle. And each day is kind of like someone who has been addicted to alcohol or drugs, and they decide to, walk in sobriety. And each day they have to count, because it is a daily battle that you're going to have to say, okay, another day. And they be knowing the exact days because they're literally counting. And that's something we have to do when we have these addictions that basically change who we are, and unfortunately allows us to miss opportunities because we have these addictions. And we oftentimes think of addiction as like drugs or alcohol. It's like, yeah, those are the most common ones, some things that people are most like knowledgeable about, but addiction can be anything. And so I try to hide your addiction by saying, oh, I don't drink, or I don't smoke, or I don't do this. And it's just like, but you got something else that you need to deal with, and know that it could be a deal breaker for someone. So it's not about you trying to hide that thing, but realizing like, okay, I may miss out on great opportunities or even great people because I'm choosing to hang on to this addiction that if it's not addicted to water, it's probably not going to help you. Or addicted to air, because we need air to breathe. Because even addiction to food. And the Lord be having to help me, because I be like, are you okay? Because what I be thinking about, I be like, food, what I'm going to eat, and it's just like, are you really like that? And so the Lord be having to calm me down on some things. So this is not for me to point a finger at you, but just more so for us to look in the mirror and see, what is it that I am doing that could be considered an addiction that may not be what we have put at the top list of addictions. So yeah, and know that it's time to break it. It's time to break that addiction. But no, you can't do it for someone. You have to want to do it for yourself, because that's the only way it's going to be permanent. And I'm all for us growing. I know nobody is going to walk into any situation perfectly, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job. It's like you're going to go in with the mindset, but we have to be critiqued to do it a way that is pleasing, of course, for a job, for the company, or if you own your own business, to I would say your creator, because the Lord tell you how you need to do things. But in a relationship, it's going to be give and take. You have to compromise. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to, do certain things. So it's just like, hey, y'all, it's time to get real. It's time to get deeper. We're so focused on surface level, and when I say surface level, on how we look on the outside, which is important to a sense, but it's like we got to go deeper, because as the word says, this stuff will fade. It will, be gone when some people do age gracefully. However, even so, someone's gonna always look better. Someone's always gonna be younger. So it's like, what are your roots inside? And so that's what we have to get to. It's like, what is it in me that I need to become a better person? And like I always say, we all have room for improvement. So may this be our day one in whatever addiction we're trying to break. And we're just going to continue to count the days and be, of course, open to whatever God is trying to do in our lives. So thank you so much for watching. Like I always say, sa como yo que quieres ver en otros, pues me la que te la cominda. Until next time. Bye.